Hello, everyone, and welcome to another interview with the Zine Quest creator. Today, I have with me Michael Harmon, the creator of Tomb of Immolation, and by the artwork on the screen, which Michael has seen a million times, but it's scrolling through here. It looks like it's going to be something dark, brutal, kind of sexy, different. I like it. So, so Michael, thanks for joining me today, man. I know it's a little late in the afternoon. I hope I'm not disrupting you at all. I appreciate you talking with me.
No, you're good, man. I appreciate you throwing out the interview.
Not a problem at all. No problem at all. So before we start talking about your game, let's kind of talk about you and get to know you a little better here. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
All right. I'm a illustrator and photographer. I started playing D&D back in 1978, 11 years old with Holmes Basic Set Blue Box. Uh, but anyway, fast forward a few years. In the late 90s, I started illustrating for Steve Jackson games in Nominee. And I did a lot of illustrations for in Nominee and angels and demons, that kind of stuff. So it was really fun. Um, and done a lot of other random stuff. I took a tiny break from illustrating from the industry for a little while when my photography took over. But lately, I've really got back into it and having a good time, having fun with this zine. I've been doing lately. I've been doing artwork for Tales for the Smoking Worm, DCC zine. I've done some artwork for Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. Uh, Done some artwork for Gallant Knight Games, Micronomicon, soon to be released. That was really fun. And so, anyway, here we are.
Yeah, that's a lot of accolades. I actually just talked to John DeCampos earlier this morning, actually,
Oh,
about
cool.
his game Repugnant. So I look forward to
Oh,
that as
yeah.
well.
I do too. Yeah.
Um, just before I don't want to get too deep into the game first because I want to talk to you about your art, but that also goes with the game. So we'll start with the game.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and just give me like the elevator pitch of your game without giving away too many trade secrets?
Yeah, sure. It actually started out. I had the over the summer. I came up with the concept of Tomb of Immolation, and I actually drew the map for it. That was I had a basic idea, and then I drew the map, and the isometric map that I guess y'all are seeing. Um, and then I kind of took the map and kind of went from there. Uh, I had an idea of kind of what I wanted to do with it, and idea for each room and the kind of concept in general. Anyway, so I talked to a gaming buddy of mine and Bill Ennis, and I said, "Hey, man, I've got this basic concept. Uh, do you want to fill in some text for me and maybe some additional details?" And he was, "Yeah, great." And so I'm good on the graphics side. He's really good with words. Like I said, fellow gaming buddy, DM for a long time. And anyway, so we did basically, it started out as a one-page dungeon. And kind of all fit on one page with small text, small font size. Anyway, it probably should have been 2 pages. Anyway, right. So, and with that, due to the one-page restrictions, I just had the map and text and explanations of all the rooms and the basic deal. So anyway, Zine Quest came up and went back to Bill and said, "Hey, man, do you want to expand this into a zine?" And he was like, "Yeah, it sounds great." So, uh, we banged our heads together and everything, And I don't know. I was thinking, okay, well, I'm going to do some more art for it, and then he'll detail the basic room descriptions and all that, and and throw a little different tricks and puzzles and traps. Actually, we already had some of that, but we went into that a little more. Anyway, so we have it. We started out, we statted it both for OSR, really specifically Swords and Wizardry, but easily really can kind of be used for any OSR games. And we also statted it for 5e. And then we got actually help from another gaming buddy, Sean, and he's kind of a particularly for the 5e, he's kind of a 5e crunch master. So we had him help with some of the stats because we've come up some with different creature variants. Excuse me, like the Ash Zombie, uh, Tomb Ghoul, the Immolation Mummy herself, and so yeah, it turned into a bigger project. It was funny. We're like, first we were thinking we have this one page, maybe 2 pages. Like, how much can we expand it? Uh, and I don't know. We were thinking maybe 24 pages or something like that. Anyway, so fast forward, the text document is actually it's all written. It's like 26 pages text alone.
Wow.
And that's in a doc. So when we shrink it down to digest size, we're like, oh wow, this is gonna balloon up. Anyway, I've done like a ton of illustrations for this. It's gonna look really cool. I mean, there's gonna be an illustration at least on every other page, a lot of full page illustrations. Illustrations, where I took the opacity down gray with text over it. So we'll have a lot of variation in that. It's going to be really graphically cool looking.
Very
In
cool.
it, yeah. In addition, the module itself is cool. Um, we've done play testing in it on 5e and with Swords and Wizardry. We were on Tony's +1 EXP and did an actual play of Swords and Wizardry of that, and that was really great fun. Tony was awesome, as was all the players. Kelly, John DeCampos that you mentioned, um, and Charmaine, and they were all really great. And I'm going to, of course, list them as play testers and post links. They're like all kind of podcast people, so they were really good.
Hmm.
Uh, anyway, uh, so we kind of figure once we shrink it down to digest size, add all my artwork in, it's probably going to balloon up to like close to 60 pages.
Wow.
Yeah, because I did a lot of art for it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we're looking at the zine. We're going to have it printed at Mixum, and it's going to be a real high quality zine. 130-pound cover, 100-pound pages in the text, interior pages. It's going to have a color cover, inside, front, and back. Interior is going to be all black and white. Stay with the kind of dark old school feel on that.
Hmm.
Um, but and then we're also adding a soft touch laminate to the cover, just because I got a zine earlier this year that had that, and I was like, oh man, that feels good. We got to have that. Yeah, Tomb of Immolation. It's based upon uh, uh, it's a tomb that was built, tomb and a prison for the necromancer Saba Nokri, and built within a dormant volcano. So it's very, very hot.
Nice. And speaking of hot, there's something very, very provocative and sexual about the cover art, the Immolation Girl. I messaged you that earlier, and I said I
Yeah.
don't want to be weird, but there's something really
Uh,
hot about that. She's standing. Well, She's about to come up on the screen here soon.
Yeah.
Sitting on what looks like a sacrificial platform with her butt up
Right.
in the air and just kind of like,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
what I only can describe is what looks like a elf or a vampire woman or something, very colorful. Looks like she has really long nails, and then you have
Right.
the ash zombie that's, it looks like she's just screaming in pain. Yeah. So the artwork that I have up here, right now it's the one woman with the orange hair that looks like she's been crying with the makeup. Is that a photograph that you then went over and manipulated with drawings on it, or is that full drawing?
Yeah, I actually first used a photograph.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a professional photographer also, so I have a really good command of lighting. So a lot of times I will take like models, or it doesn't even have to be specific, but just I'll take a photograph and get an idea of the lighting and real natural forms, and then do a drawing from that to add a little bit of a little more realism to the drawing.
Yeah, I like that. There's something very, like I said, sexy and dark and scary about all of this artwork. Even the necromancer, I like that. There's something like very. I almost get like a, if I read this zine from front to back, I've completed some kind of ritual or something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
oh, awesome. Objective achieved.
Yeah, yeah. This is, and it's funny. I was talking to someone else. Everyone that reached out for an interview, these are probably all things that I would back anyway. So doing an
Yeah.
interview and being able to talk to you personally is like it's like icing on the cake for me.
Oh
It's like
man.
a stretch reward that I don't even have to do anything quite yet to get. You know what
Right.
I mean? So
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
have you ever done anything for Zine Quest before? And if
No.
so, why Zine Quest? Why produce it
Uh,
during Zine Quest and maybe not wait until later, or maybe like part of the 100 and 100 or whatever it was in
right.
January?
Yeah, so I was definitely had this on my mind to do a zine from it. An adventure zine. Like I said, it's going to be a pretty thick zine. Um, but yeah, I guess Zine Quest. It was kind of that timing, and so I was like, "Hey, man, let's just do this for Zine Quest." And admittedly, I kind of uh, on the particularly on the Facebook RPG zine site. Excuse me. Which that Gothridge Manor started, and uh, Tim, kudos to him. It's like one of my favorite interactive Facebook groups.
Yeah, I love that group.
Uh, yeah, yeah. So, um, yeah. So I was I asked some other people because I hadn't done Zine Quest before, and asking some of the other creators is the promotion, is it there's a lot of promotion behind it with Kickstarter and people get excited about Zine Quest. And I did the last 2 years. I bought my share of zines in the last 2 years. So I know on the other side of it how that excitement feels, but I did, pose the question, is the promotional value and excitement, is it does it overcome the amount of competition you deal with,
Yeah,
And most of the creators said, they felt that the promotion did uh did overcome whatever competition you have. Um Although, like I said, I feel really good about our zine, both from the writing. Bill did a great job, and like I said, some of the unique or new creature variants that we created specifically for the immolated tomb. They're pretty cool. So everyone involved with that is really did a great job. Um, so yeah, it was kind of a quick thing, but we said, "Hey, let's put this together real quick." and bam, do it. We had actually, I'd started working on another project actually with Bill and Sean, and then we had one of our other another gaming party uh, person from an old school group that's done a lot of editing and stuff in the past. So he kind of joined us with the editing side. But anyway, we had worked on another, or we'd started working on another project, but it was kind of a bigger project, kind of slow going, and we just kind of doing it on the side and kind of doing a little bit as we went along. So anyway, I proposed is to take our one-page dungeon, do it for Zine Quest, and said, kind of as a test run, kind of on some bigger projects going later on. And I said, hey, let's see if we mesh together well, work together well, and that we can focus and put this out. And so behind the scenes, as far as us putting Tomb of Immolation together, it's been really good because we've Bill and I worked together really well as far as his detail in the writings, and then all of us, the other person with the editing, Mov, uh, and another of our gaming buddies, David. Done a lot of play testing, both in 5e and Swords of Wizardry, and then we bounce ideas around. And after play testing, this a little problem, or what can we make this smoother, or whatever. So that's been really cool, and we've, I think, really fine tuned it. And even then with Tony and the rest of the group there, that was good because we made some slight, like, I think, nice little adjustments to fine tune and everything to kind of run smooth. Even from that, uh, it was good having some playtesters outside of our immediate group that had a totally different perception coming into it, or new, unique perception. So it's been a really great experience so
Yeah,
far.
yeah, yeah. I think it'll definitely be successful. Just from aesthetic alone. Um, I I I'm not a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, but OSR is really kind of. Um, I'm starting to get a taste for it, and I want to know more about it. I think that with your game, I'm probably finally gonna jump over the ledge and
Oh,
see if I sink or swim.
there you
Uh,
go. There you go.
so so
You'll swim. You'll swim.
so
Dog
with
paddle.
that being said, I'm fairly new to that type of mechanic, and that type of gameplay. Is it for ease of play? Is it something that someone brand new with a very minimal amount of knowledge could come in and learn how to play, or is it for a more experienced player?
Oh no, I think I mean, experienced players are like it because it has this whole adventure to the tomb. It has an old school feel to it. So even for 5e players, or old grognards like me that have been around, uh, uh, that are playing 5e, they'll get into it. But I think 5e people like it because it has a different dark feel. But yeah, as far as the OSR deal, it's I think it's going to appeal to people that have been around like me and to new players. Because, like I said, we ballooned it up to 60 pages, not with the art, but also we have a lot of detailed descriptions and like GM advice in it.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, and all of our since all of our creatures were kind of new creature variants, uh, we have like stats right there in the description, quick stats in the description, but then we also have a bestiary at the end of the adventure with additional artwork. Um, so yeah, it's so everything's kind of there for you to run it, bam, just like that. Uh, like I said, if you're whether you're playing 5e or Swords and Wizardry or another OSR game, uh, BX or Old School Essentials or whatever, it be pretty because a lot of the OSR, unless you're getting way different on some kind of adjacent clone or something, any of the clones, it's gonna slide right in because it seems like a lot of the big difference on a lot of the different, whether it's BX or whatever, or Swords and Wizardry, OD&D. Um, a lot of the big difference is more on the PCs. As far as the monsters and creatures and stuff, it's all pretty similar. So that'll transfer really well. But since we did a lot of playtesting in 5e and Swords and Wizardry, uh, we're also providing pre-gens.
Oh,
Um,
very cool.
yeah, with artwork. So you can run your own characters, PCs, or we provide the pre-gen, so you can bam pop this in for a one shot. Um, so you can kind of go run through it fairly fast. We also have like some random encounter tables and stuff in it. So if you kind of ignore the random encounter tables, you can maybe go through it and do it in one session like we did with Tony. And when I ran them through it, I purposely didn't do any of the random encounters, so we could finish it in a session.
Yeah.
But for if you want, this could easily 2 sessions for sure, but could easily go 3 sessions, maybe even 4 if you really explore the whole thing. But like I said, I wanted to kind of fast track Tony and through so we could do it in one session and have a sense of completion there.
Yes.
Um,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
so Tomb of Immolation is about the tomb itself. Um, do you have any ideas for any other tie-in type scenarios, or are you just gonna have that be its own thing? And then kind of maybe move on to the next thing, but with the same feel and same,
Right.
beast and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this was, the whole original concept was definitely a one shot, or multi-session shot, whatever you
Mm-hmm.
want to call it. But it's definitely made to where someone uh can take this and slip it in. If they can easily do a multi-session or one session, excuse me, or if they're running a campaign, this is definitely something they could pop in between like major arcs or whatever.
Yeah.
Totally easy. Um, that's a really good question about whether there'll be hadn't really considered like a part two to it, but that's maybe we will go back and revisit it. That's kind of a cool idea now that you say it. But the original concept is it's kind of bam complete. Um, but yeah, we do have some other kind of projects in the works. We like I said, we kind of started on a larger project, and the larger part of it is it was a Underdark kind of theme deal, with an underground city, uh, a dwarven underground city that had been taken over by some creatures from beyond the astral plane and the far realm, or whatever you want to call it, and called the Yogdu, but kind of aberrant type
Mm-hmm.
creatures. So anyway, we kind of have that projects in the works. It ballooned up kind of big, so we're probably gonna kind of split it up. The first part of it would be entitled Slaughterhouse Island.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely continuing that dark feel.
Good.
So yeah, for sure. And assuming this is successful, which I think it will be, I just have no idea how successful.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we've kind of also gotten interested in Mort Borg lately. So we're kind of looking at maybe after this, maybe doing a Mort Borg conversion.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I didn't want to put that hex on you, but
Yeah.
it definitely seems in that same vein, and I think that's why I like it so much. And it has that perfect uh, black metal slash
Yeah, yeah, it
definitely probably more than likely gonna die in it kind of feel
yeah,
to
yeah.
it.
It already has that feel to it. And I think what we'll do is take it beyond just simply converting stats to Morkborg. I think we'll definitely create kind of our variants we created. We'll probably create kind of new creatures to go specifically for Morkborg, and some things like that. And just in general, do a it'll, like you said, it'd be more than just stats conversion. Uh, so I think would probably even go a little bit even further down, deeper down that darker road.
Well, let me just say
So
this:
yeah.
if there's anything that I've seen more successful on Kickstarter, it's Morkborg, and it seems
Oh
like
my God.
anything that goes up with that patented yellow Morkborg gets funded in 17 seconds or whatever the case may be. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
I've seen them go as fast as 7 minutes and it's fully funded, and then it makes six hundred
Yeah.
thousand times more than what it was supposed
Yeah.
to make.
Yeah. It's crazy. And that's definitely a factor to it. But I like I said, I love the game. I've played it a little bit, but we definitely play in the near future. Plan on playing it a lot more in preparation for that. Uh, yeah, it's just it's a beautiful or darkly beautiful game. But the game itself, the writing is really awesome and it has a nice feel to it.
Yeah, I mean, as an artist, I mean, the artwork in that book is just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And I think I have that dark feel. I don't plan on doing a Johann clone type deal. I'm going to stick to my own deal because I think my artwork enters into that dark area, maybe just not as noisy
I think it fits
as.
perfectly. I think it fits perfectly.
So yeah, thanks, man.
Uh,
Uh, yeah, go ahead.
so I have to say this before I say anything else, because we know Kickstarter says it a million times on the site. Backing does not mean buying.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, but one of the things that's cool about backing is obviously the incentive tiers. So, if you wouldn't mind, if it's open to discussion, talking to a little bit about what different tiers you have for the backers.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. Like I said, since we're going with Zine Quest, we kind of wanted to keep it really clean, at least as far as the Kickstarter goes, even though the tomb isn't clean. Or maybe it's clean because it's been washed by fire. But so yeah, so it's you're gonna be able to get a PDF for $5. And then the print plus PDF is going to be $12. And then we have a $10 POD for international backers. But people in the US and Canada will definitely want to go the extra $2 for the $12 zine because the printing from Mixam and the quality of that it's going to be really, really good. When we originally priced it, we were honestly figuring a zine like a third the size. So people are really going to get their money's worth in this. We decided to just kind of keep it at that level.
I was gonna
Uh,
say that's a steal.
yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. I think we could definitely charge more. But for Zine Quest and all, and this is our first thing like this. We decided to kind of keep it that way for the peeps.
Yeah, I mean, keep your prices low. That might lead to more backers, and
Yeah,
it leads to more people to back the next thing, and then the next thing after that, and I think it's a smart idea, and I think it goes to show that you are more worried about your art and your game being introduced to people than it is about just stuff in your pocket, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, thanks, man. And as far as the zine goes and production of it and everything, the writing is already done. My artwork is done. Basically, now we're kind of only thing we have left to do is, and we've been doing editing along the way, but we'll do a kind of a final in edit. But right now, we're kind of starting the layout and everything. So it's yeah, there's like really no chance of this not happening as far as like people getting their product because it's pretty much like 90% done.
Sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the most important things to know is when do you plan on launching?
So the plan is now, assuming things don't really change, because we finally just recently submitted to Kickstarter, so it's still pending. Uh, which I don't think it's going to be a problem getting past through Kickstarter. But I don't have the preview link yet because it's still in the pending
Yeah.
deal. But I'll definitely be posting that this next week for sure. So our plan is that unless something's different on Kickstarter, is for February 2nd.
Okay.
And like I said, the normal Kickstarter 14 days.
Yeah.
So yeah.
14 days.
Zine Quest 3, 14 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you'll have a problem with getting that backed, and I don't think that I can't wait to get my hands on the game. And I've said this in multiple different interviews, and it still rings true. This is one of those ones that I'd probably buy one for the bookshelf and then buy one to be passed around the table during gameplay.
Thanks, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I've had posting my art and stuff for the game, the few different art pieces for the zine. I've had really good response. On the graphic content.
Yeah, and I mean, I was trolling your Instagram, and the
Yeah.
artwork on there is amazing.
Thanks, man.
At michael.harmon.art for anyone who is on Instagram.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing work. You're you're there's like a illustration of a wizard or something. It looks like he has ram's horns.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's Tim
almost
the
looks
Enchanter.
Yeah, it almost looks like a Monty Python character, but
Oh yeah, well I totally took that after.
Okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
No, yeah, there's no bones. There's no bones. There's no bones about it. That was totally Tim the Enchanter.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Because I was like, wow, that looks really familiar.
Yeah,
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, I messaged a copy to John Cleese, but hadn't heard anything back yet. So.
Let's hope you do, man. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. And, knowing him and knowing his personality and sense of humor, he might just call it shit and then give you a little smiley face or something.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I'm sure he gets a lot of stuff. So who knows if it makes it through the wash? But yeah, I figured, hey, why not?
Yeah, I hope it does, man. That would be awesome if you got a response back from him.
Yeah, I got a lot of response from that image in general when I was posting on different RPG and art sites. Yeah.
Nice. So before we kind of finish it off, is there anything else that you'd like to promote or plug or anything? Doesn't matter what it is. The floor is yours.
Okay, thanks. And actually, right before I do that, just a quick comment while I was thinking about it. You mentioned my cover with the seductive immolation mummy. I just had a comment. You're not the only person to tell me that.
Good. I don't feel as strange now.
Yeah. No creep factor involved. It's yeah, you weren't actually the first person to tell me that. So you're not alone. So yeah, it's funny. I Not that I didn't mean to do it, but I don't know if I purposely totally meant to do it. But after I've had a few people mention that, I was like, yeah, that it does have that factor. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I've had several people mention how horny it was making them. So, so yeah, yeah. So no worries.
Oh, thanks for that.
Yeah, man. Uh, so yeah, like I said, this is I'm kind of the leading force behind this and the face of the group, but it did become a team project. So we kind of put together, we're going to call ourselves Yogdu Games, YOG apostrophe DU. Uh, and that is actually from the aberrant creature that I mentioned from the Slaughterhouse Island adventure uh, we're working on. And so I that we're working on that. We've actually made quite a bit of progress. I don't know, but I think our next thing, like I said, I think we might be looking into the Mort board conversion for our very next project.
Yeah, and the you said it's called Slaughterhouse Island.
Yeah,
Now,
Slaughterhouse
is that
Island.
is that
Yeah.
something that you're going to be putting on Kickstarter as well?
Yeah, that'll be a Kickstarter thing.
Okay.
And I couldn't tell you the time frame on that one. Like I said, but I think our immediate thing is we're looking into the Mort board for Tomb of Immolation.
Yeah, well, keep in touch with me with anything that
Oh, for
you plan on
sure.
launching because A, I'll back it, and B, I'd love to talk to you about it and
Yeah,
put another episode up about it.
man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate you doing this interview. Not only for me, but all the other uh, zine creators. Looks like you had a really good list going. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of these.
Yeah, and thank you, and that's great of you to say, and I really appreciate it. But like I said before the interview, all these really aren't about me. They're really about the artists and the creators that are behind these games. Because we got some people who this is their first time doing it, and they might be screaming to a crowd of people trying to get
Yeah,
recognition
yeah,
for their game, and this podcast isn't very large yet. Hopefully, it grows.
yeah,
But there are people that do watch it, do listen to it, and if they don't know about Zine Games, they should now.
yeah,
If they don't know about Michael Harmon, they should now. And then hopefully they go
yeah.
and check your
Woo!
yeah, hopefully they go and check your Instagram out, and definitely whatever I can do to help get more backers, I will do. And that leads me to my last thing before I finally say goodbye to you is on the RPG Zine page, there was
Yeah.
an initiative that was thrown out that was a great idea, and it's called 28 days, 28 or $28, 28 days.
Mhm.
And basically, what that is, the first person I saw say it was actually Tony said it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, great idea.
and
Really cool idea.
for every day in February, considering that Zine Quest is starting in February and it's an only February thing, um, you back a book that you may not already be backing for $1, and that helps the creators get another backer, get another dollar, and get them pushed up a little more in the algorithm to get noticed in
Yeah.
Kickstarter. And I think that's a great initiative. That's something that I plan
Oh,
on
that's
doing for sure.
awesome. Oh, likewise. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I definitely plan on doing that. That's totally really cool idea of Tony. Yeah, Tony's a great guy. And again, props to Tony for his actual play. I had lots of fun on that.
Yeah, I
But
watched
yeah,
some of that.
totally.
That was cool. I watched some of that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he did. Like you said, I was kind of nervous at first. But and I know one point I was like, and then like he hopped in and saved me. But then once we started gaming, I felt totally in my element and had a great time.
That's
So
good.
yeah.
That's good.
Uh, but also I have to say, you've felt me, sorry. Let me start over on that one.
Okay.
You made me feel really comfortable with this interview.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, don't feel weird if you're the only one talking because I want to listen to you. I listen to me all day. nobody wants to listen to me anyway. They're tuning in to hear what we got to talk about. So
Yeah. Well, no problem. I ended up getting quite verbose, it seems.
it is a lot of fun. You have a very untalkative person in the background there.
Yeah, Mr. Bones. He doesn't say much.
That's all right. The way he looks, he doesn't have to say much.
Yeah, he's been through the whole immolation thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah, that's what happens at the end of the event when you get with the immolation girl.
Exactly. Oh, I thought I'd mention real quick.
Yeah.
What's cool is for the one page, the immolation money me was actually a guy, and so Bill actually kind of changed it in his writing, changed it to a woman, to a female. And I was like, oh man, I'm glad I read your the doc, because I was starting to do illustrations.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't get too far. But then I was like, oh yeah, I'm actually really glad he changed it because it's really worked out.
Good.
So, yeah, just a little bit of trivia there.
Good,
yeah.
good. Well, Michael, thank you so much. I hope that.
Hey, thanks so much.
I hope that the project gets approved quickly, and I will make sure to post your link. I will update the video and also the podcast with the link as soon as you get it to me, and make sure you get it to me specifically because I want to back it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, sounds good. I will for sure. Like I said, I anticipate that happening. Well, it's going to happen this next week sometime, but I'll shoot it to you as soon as I get it.
Awesome. Yeah, I look forward to backing it, and I look forward to the updates. And I'm dying for more artwork. I love the artwork. Do you have a portfolio or anything that is printed?
I guess I don't have a printed portfolio. That's kind of that's a good idea though.
I need some framed prints in my life, man. They would look great in the office here.
Yeah. And actually I've thought about getting some prints made of specific pieces. But now with this, I produce a lot of stuff, so I guess I need to look further into that.
Awesome, man. Well, I look forward to everything that you create, and thanks a lot for joining me.
Hey, thanks so much. It's been really great.
Absolutely. See ya.